Dear student, hope you are doing well. Today we are going to conduct a class for the student of class 9-10. Subject is biology and chapter 4, and today's topic is bioenergetics. From today's class we can learn what is bioenergy, what is bioenergetics, what is biological coin, what is phosphorylation and dephosphorylation, what is ATP, why ATP is called as biological coin, and some basic parts of the photosynthesis. First, we will talk about bioenergy. We know there is a difference between living and non-living or living organisms and non-living object. In living organisms, thousands of biochemical reactions are being continuously carried out in the cells for the maintenance of their life. For this reaction, energy is somewhat required. The basic mechanism of production and utilization of energy in the body of the living organism is its bioenergy. So from the bioenergy word, we can have the next word, the bioenergetics. Now about bioenergetics. What is bioenergetics? Bioenergetics is a field in biochemistry and cell biology that concerns energy flow through living systems. This is an active area of biological research that includes the study of the transformation of energy in living organisms and the study of thousands of different cellular processes such as cellular respiration and the many other metabolic and enzymatic processes that lead to produce and in utilization of energy in forms such as adenosine triphosphate or ATP molecules. That is the goal of a bioenergetics is to describe how living organisms acquire and transform energy in order to perform biological work. Now the word for phosphorylation and dephosphorylation. In chemistry, phosphorylation of a molecule is the attachment of a phosphoryl group. Energy is needed to be supplied from an outside source for the process of adding phosphate. In the reverse process, energy is released when a phosphate group is removed. This chemical reaction is called dephosphorylation. It is critical for many cellular processes in biology. We will learn later of this slide about the phosphorylation when we will able to know the formation of ATP. Now about the word biological coin or energy coin. Some energy-rich compounds contain high energy and in necessity provide energy to other chemical reactions with energy, such as ATP, GTP, NAD, NADP, NADPH+, or reduced NADPH, and FADH2, etc. are called energy coins. There is the full name of these things. ATP is adenosine triphosphate, GTP is guanosine triphosphate, NAD nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NADP nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, FADH2 reduced flavino adenine dinucleotide. Now about ATP. It's very important word for our today's topic. The full name of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. ATP is composed of an adenine ring, ribose sugar, and 3 phosphate groups. The groups of the phosphate group are usually called the alpha, beta, and gamma phosphate. It is typically related to a monomer of RNA called adenosine nucleotide. We will look of it in the next slide. So here we can see adenine. Adenine is one of the 2 purine nucleobases used in forming of nucleotides of a nucleic acid. And this is ribose sugar. Ribose sugar is a simple sugar and carbohydrate with molecular formula of C6H10O5. When they mix together, they formate a new thing, that is adenosine. Adenosine is a nucleoside that is composed of adenine and D-ribose. Adenosine delivers play many important biological roles in addition of being components of DNA and RNA. Adenosine plays an important role in energy transfer as adenosine triphosphate and adenosine diphosphate. So, when the adenine and ribose sugar mix together, they form a new structure, new chemical structure, that is a nucleoside, and it is adenosine. And when an organic phosphate is added to adenosine, they formate a new chemical substance that is called adenosine monophosphate. And adenosine, when added with a phosphate, it is a phosphorylation process. And if after that one more inorganic phosphate added to adenosine monophosphate, it will formate a new chemical substance that will be called adenosine diphosphate. After that, if we add one more, that's mean third inorganic phosphate to adenosine, or one more phosphate to adenosine diphosphate, it will formate a new chemical substance which will be called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. That is very important for our today's topic. We can see a simplified picture of formation of ATP. A means adenine and IP means inorganic phosphate. So one adenine and one IP, adenosine monophosphate, one adenine and two IP is adenosine diphosphate, and one A and three IP is adenosine triphosphate. How does ATP formate? ATP plus inorganic phosphate is equal to ATP. That means when adenine holds three organic phosphate, that is ATP. And this is a phosphorylation process. Why ATP is called biological coil? ATP stores energy in necessary, provides organisms with higher energy during photosynthesis. ADP is converted into ATP, receiving solar energy. This process is called photophosphorylation. In this process, 7,300 calorie energy or solar energy is captured in the third phosphate bond. ATP is the carrier of free energy, and energy is organized in its phosphate bonds. If energy is required for organic synthesis, conduction, and other metabolic activities, ATP and IP are formed by breaking down of ATP, and so the energy is produced. This is why ATP is called biological coil. Here is solar energy is captured, and IP is going to be added with adenosine diphosphate and making adenosine triphosphate. And the third bond of the phosphate can contain up to 7,300 calorie energy. Here we can see the sun is falling to a plant, and plant is making food. And we know the sun is the main source of our energy. The green plants, by transforming solar energy through the process of photosynthesis, capture the chemical energy first in the organic compound named ATP and NADH2. So energy comes from the light and taken by chloroplast, and ATP and ITP together form ATP, and this ATP energy is used for making food and other activities for plants. Now we are going to learn some basic things about photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process by which autotrophic means those who can make their own food, produce their own food. Autotrophic organisms use light energy to make sugar and oxygen gas from the carbon dioxide and water using chlorophyll. Where occurs in plants, algae, and some prokaryotes, mainly in green plants. Anabolic, that's when small molecules combined. Endergonic, stores energy and stored as carbohydrate in their bodies. So here you can see the reaction of photosynthesis. Here 6 molecules of carbon dioxide is used with 12 molecules of water. With the help of light energy, plant enzyme, and in the chloroplast, plant produce C6H12O6. That's the that's the chemical form of glucose, 1 molecule of glucose, plus 6 oxygen, 6 molecule of oxygen, and 6 molecule of water. Here, the oxygen is called byproduct. Here is the important topics. Why photosynthesis is called oxidation and reduction process. Photosynthesis transfers electrons from water to energy-poor carbon dioxide molecules, forming energy-rich sugar molecules. This electron transfer is an example of oxidation-reduction process. The water is oxidized, that means loses electrons, and the carbon dioxide is reduced, that means gain electrons. So now, what are the essential components for photosynthesis? For photosynthesis, we need water, we need carbon dioxide, chloroplast, and sunlight. Here we can see the necessary things and from where we can obtain that. First, the light comes from sun, then the chlorophyll that in the green plant's leaves, water absorbed from the root, from the soil, by the root from the soil, carbon dioxide enters to the stomata, plant by stomata from the environment, and after the production, oxygen gas is released to atmosphere, and the main product glucose or sugar is used for plant as food, and extra food is stored in other plants parts of the plant, and we can check it when the iodine gets blue. We can say that starch is stored in the plant. Now the topic, why does photosynthesis happen? We can see a green plant, and if we take out a leaf, we can have more knowledge about where photosynthesis happens. If you look inside a leaf, the internal structure of leaf, we get this kind of structure. So this is the place where the photosynthesis process occurs. The main place of occurrence of photosynthesis, that is the internal structure of a green leaf. So now we are going to learn about the structure. The upper one is called epidermis, and the layer of a parenchyma cell, that is mesophyll. The mesophyll layer shorter is called palisade mesophyll. This bird, blue and violet, are the vascular bundle rings. There is xylem and phloems. This one is spongy mesophyll layer, and the down part of the leaf is hypodermis, and the pores of the lower part of a leaf, some pores present that are called stomata. So these the site of photosynthesis: green leaf, mesophyll layer, chloroplast, and internal structure of chloroplast. Sites of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis occurs in chloroplast organelles in certain plants. All green plant parts have chloroplast and carry out photosynthesis. The leaves have the most chloroplast, and the green color comes from the chlorophyll in the chloroplast. The pigment absorb light energy. That's why chloroplast is important to do photosynthesis. Now some talk about or look about the internal structure of the chloroplast. A chloroplast contains a stroma, a fluid, grana, a type of thicolloid. The thicolloid contains chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is the Greek pigment that captures the light for photosynthesis. So here we can see a three-dimensional model of chloroplast. That's the outer membrane, inner membrane, and those are granules, granules thicolloid. Grana are together joined with gramma labellum, and in the matrix we have stroma that contains a lot of enzyme for the converting of solar energy to chemical energy. It is the internal structure of the chloroplast. So mesophyll tissue is the place where the chloroplast is in, and the grana and stroma does the main task for capturing the solar energy. And in green leaves we also have stomata that allows carbon dioxide to enter and oxygen to come out. Now we are going to enjoy a
Green plants can make their own food. That's why they are called autotrophs. To carry out this complex process, plants use simple inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, minerals like potassium, nitrogen, phosphorus. Green plants are the only organisms having the ability to trap energy from the sun to make food. How? You know leaves are green. Leaves have the green pigment chlorophyll present in the cell organelle chloroplast that traps solar energy to convert it into chemical energy in the form of carbohydrates. And this process is called photosynthesis.
So today your home task is what is photosynthesis and represent it by its chemical equation. Hope you will do your home task and check it to your subject teacher when you go to your school. Thank you very much for enjoying today's class. Thank you. Hope you will stay home and stay safe.